Well, I want to make a little video about the death of our dog. How to cope with death of a pet. You ever have a pet to die? I went out this afternoon, almost dark, to play with the dog some before I fed her and put her up. So the horse, he got to spooked about something out there. So he got to running and snorting, you know how horses do. And so the dog was running up and down the fence, and all of a sudden she yapped. She run into something about the fence, and then she come across a little creek and sat down. She sat there a while, not very long, and then she came over to me. I pet on her and talked to her. Then I noticed that some blood coming from her shoulder. I thought, uh-oh. So she laid down, and then I got to where I didn't feel good about it. And I went in and told my wife about it. And so she came out. I called a vet, and of course they wasn't there. And then I called another vet, and they had recordings about if you have an emergency, you can call this number. There's a veterinary clinic stays open, I think it's 24 hours a day or something like that, about 35 miles from here. While I was talking to that lady, where our dog breathed her last breath. So anyway, how do you cope with the death of a pet? And of course, this is not the first time we've had this problem before. I remember the first time we had a pet that died, probably 30 years ago. We had a dog, and I guess it was about 6 years old. It was born on that place. And its brothers and sisters, we all gave away, and I kept this one dog. And so 6 years later, I went back out to the very dog house that it was born in, and there she was, just as stiff as a board. I don't know what she died of. Now that was hard. And of course, the boy, our son, he was young, and so I remember digging a deep hole and burying her and putting the mat that she slept on in that dog house in that hole, and buried her. Oh man, weeping, heartbroken. So this is not the first time we've ever got into the death of a pet. But anyway, how do you cope with the death of a pet? How does one view things like that? Well, I don't know how everybody views the death of a pet. You know, the way I cope with it, I don't mean to sound harsh, but the first thing I think about is, well, it's a dog, not a human being. An animal is an animal. A human being is made in the image of God. A human being at death is either going to go to heaven or hell. A dog is a dog. So I don't mourn for where the dog is. I have to cope with its absence. The habits I have of playing with the dog, training the dog, the memories I have of filming her. Every month I would film her on her birthday, day before, day after that day, right in through there. So I've got, I don't know, 10, films, whatever it is, on this, because if she had kept on living, in 5 days she'd have been 11 months old. So I got 10 films on this phone of her, one a month. So I thought about deleting them all. And I thought, no. And then I thought, well, just forget about it. Just forget she ever lived. See, I'm trying to cope. And that's what I'm making this video about. How do you deal with the cope? How do you cope with the death of a pet? So then I've got to try to retrain myself that she's not going to bark. When somebody comes up, I'm not going to know that we got company or a visitor. I'm not going to have a playmate. She didn't have much of a playmate with me. I had more playing than what I can handle with her. I'll save on feed. How do you cope with the death of a pet? I'll just have to form new habits, And I tell you, it's not going to hurt to pray and say, Lord, help me with this. 6 minutes, I think that's long enough. Lord, help me with this. And just, go on. And can't live in the past. Got to keep on going. And there's plenty of work to be done in the field of evangelism. So anyway, maybe you can get a little something out of this. Whether I'll even put it on YouTube or I don't know. But anyway, have a good rest of the day or evening, whichever the case may be for you.